Welcome to In the Green Room. I'm Kinga.
And I'm Chat.
And Martin isn't here this week, but we will see him soon. He's on vacation, so Martin, have a great time. We've got Robert Hamilton and Beverly Hamilton here in studio.
Legendary pianist.
ASU, 42 years.
43.
And this is part 2, and we
yes.
are talking about the relentless focus,
Of
passion of who?
Actually, of your father, Dr. Z,
Yes.
who was an inspiration not only to me, but many, many other people as well. So we are kind of remembering him and all of the good that he did for so many.
And my mom and Andrea are here.
Hello, Gallery Andrea.
And we are just having a conversation about how important it is to have music in your life. And Chet, I know you created a song today. Can you talk about that?
Well, actually, I put the finishing touches on a song that I've been working on for a long time, where there was just one element missing, and I figured out what was missing today, and basically completed the song. But it was actually inspired by a video that I sent you guys today before the show with Andrew Huberman. He's a neuroscientist at Stanford, talking about their breakthrough that they found that through scanning the brain while people listen to music and comparing that to how the brain reacts during conversation, the brain can be much more greatly affected in the emotional areas by music than by conversation. And so I was thinking about it, how I wanted the song to make my listeners feel, and when I was thinking about that aspect, I was able to find that last part of the melody that completed the song. So it was just an interesting way to approach thinking about finishing the song, and it was inspired by that video. So it was really a very fun start to the day. But I think in theory, it's one of the reasons why music can elevate your mood so fast. That's why you can listen to the right song. It'll make you feel happy or sad within the span of that song, whereas normally a conversation, it'd take a long time for somebody to cheer you up and make you feel happy like that. So it's very fascinating how music is, hardwired into our brain and connected to our emotions and our feelings.
Indeed.
But speaking of music, we can talk about how my dad, Dr. Z, used music, his love of his home country, of Poland and of Chopin, and use that love to help others and to fundraise and to
Charity.
Create
Giving
the
back.
Western Chopin Society, and also to help Poland with American Aid to Poland.
That's right.
And to help with the Solidarity movement when it was communist. So, and then he was using music to help others, which is great.
And Robert, how were you involved with that?
Well, I was vice president, and he was president of the Western Chopin Society, which we started together. Of course, it was his launching.
So it was his passion project, but you were you were the main guy.
Well, I helped by performing and helping to supply other performers, so that who were willing to give of their time and so on. But of course, the American Aid to Poland was his own baby. I think
passion project.
I think he may have had that first. Is that right?
Yes.
He had American Aid to Poland first, and then the Chopin Society was secondary, the Western Chopin Society.
And you performed, and you brought all this other talent, and that brought such emotion, like what Chet was talking about, that makes people feel good. And
it was essentially where that point was going. Though, is that good music that you enjoy literally makes you happy, and so that's why I bet after leaving a concert, like when Mr. Hamilton was playing, or seeing one of your favorite artists, when you're leaving, you have that bubbly feeling inside, you feel so good. In my opinion, you feel better after that than after a therapy session or talking your heart out.
Well,
but that feeling of after witnessing live music is so unique, and it really elevates your mood like nothing else. And now the science literally backs it up.
Yeah, and sometimes it makes your mood somber and sad too. I mean,
if you go to the wrong artist,
Well, no, sometimes
it evokes an emotion.
The purpose of music expresses lots of emotions.
To tell a story, exactly.
But in the background behind it all, of course, were happy, maybe content, pleased, fulfilled. Maybe that's a better word, because sometimes music is meant to not make us happy, but more serious or contemplative, and it expresses lots of things, scenes, and
Well, if there's a movie or something and it's a sad emotion, they're trying to.
Well, and the
That's
theory
right.
though is that even if you're watching something that is, dramatic or action, something that's not necessarily happy content, it's still providing you a distraction and some level of enjoyment that's going to make you happy in the end. So I kind of just put it all in a blanket saying that music makes you happy. Not saying that all emotion of music is happy, but the end result is going to be you'll be a happier overall person.
I know very well what you mean.
Yeah.
Does music make you happy?
Well, yes, of course.
He's only been pursuing it for like 6 decades.
Yeah.
That's like something about it.
Yeah.
Right?
It's
That's a long time.
Yeah, it's a wonderful, a very important part of our lives as human beings, I think, and I prefer the word fulfilled, or gives us meaning, and stuff like that.
Can you remind us? I know this is part 2. We did a show last week.
Yes.
With Beverly and Robert Hamilton, and about your love and your life and your purpose and your marriage and all these great little secrets. So if you are listening to this show, I'd like everyone to tune into last week's show. But what would you say, what inspired you the most to want to start music? And can you let people know, if they're just listening to this show, who you are?
Well,
who is Robert Hamilton?
Okay, well, a brief overview. Yes, I just went to it naturally when I was 3 years old. My father was a clarinetist, jazz clarinetist, and so music was in the house, and my mother was learning to play the piano, and there were a couple of pieces that I had heard her practice, and one early morning when I was 3 years old, I went down to the piano, as I'm told, and was playing the pieces that she was playing, and I had just learned them, picked them up by ear. So at that point, they realized that I should have some piano lessons.
Prodigy.
Yes. Well, I don't know.
Prodigy.
Anyway, so it all started from there. And it was wonderful that my first teacher was not really strict. I know that has its benefits, but at this particular time, I needed to just get into music and learn what it was all about on my own, and which I did, and it just all bloomed from there. And I know some people can say a certain moment in their lives when they decided to be this or be that. With me, if I'm asked, I don't really think there ever was a single moment when I decided to be a musician. It just was very natural from the ground up.
Prodigy. And I was so lucky to be taught by Robert Hamilton,
Yes,
you.
indeed.
And how many years now at ASU?
43 at ASU. I just retired from there last May, and
Teaching piano.
Yeah, I'm continuing
Professor.
to teach piano. I have students all over who are teaching themselves, and so I'm there as a mentor, and I hear them when they're preparing to give recitals and so on their own. And I have my own performance projects too. I'll be playing more. I can practice more now because I don't have all of the busy work of universities, and so
As
I
a
have
professor.
much more free time.
And you've played all over the world.
Oh yes,
All over the world.
Yep.
If you Google Robert
Including
Hamilton.
Poland.
Yeah, including Poland.
That's
Including-
right.
Speaking of which,
Yes.
tell us about that monumental. My mom will want to hear that, about the trip
Oh.
to Poland. You were
Yes.
you were saved by my
Well,
dad.
That's right.
As a
that's
doctor.
right. Well, again, he, his passion and his determination to do things, and he had me on a very strict diet. And when he knew I was going to Poland to play concerts, he was concerned about my perhaps getting into some food that was not good for me. I had a series of pancreatitis episodes, which were, quite serious.
Hospitalization.
And so before my first concert, he just showed up. He left his practice. He was, very
That's so Dad.
important.
That's Dad.
Yeah.
Yes, right.
Always helping others.
Relentless
Yes.
focus.
That's right.
Helping
And-
others.
right.
Helping others.
That's right. So
Relentless
he
fo-
Others-
followed me around for
others focused.
part of my tour. He went ahead of me to restaurants, and he would get things like boiled rice and boiled vegetables, which were all free of fat and so on, which irritated my pancreas. And so I went through with flying colors thanks to your dad.
Dr. Z.
Yeah.
Yes.
He was really, he gave everything.
I have
in
the
life.
spoon.
Yes, you
I
have the
That
spoon.
I do.
What's the spoon? Tell us
There
about
was
She
a-
keeps talking about the spoon.
I don't know where the spoon came from, but it was the spoon that was.
She still has a
used.
spoon.
You still have it.
I
So he
have
got
it.
it. I think it was in Poland, right?
She still has
Tell
that
us-
same
tell-
Tell us the
spoon.
Well,
significance.
I think I
He
think
said
he got
let
a
her
Poland.
feed you, fed you.
Yeah.
to help you get better.
Yeah.
Get better.
No, that's right. It was. I have to see that again. It was a big spoon, and I'm
Yeah,
sure
it was a big
he
spoon.
he picked it
Yes.
up in
Yes.
Poland at
It's
one of the
amazing.
restaurants, and
Yeah.
Dished it out
He's
and,
very
and
serious
for
on
me into
things.
little
Yeah.
bowls and stuff like that.
He
So
told me that. He told me, he says, you know what it is, this is the spoon of Bob.
Spoon and Bob.
Because
Oh my gosh.
otherwise I was gonna
And
throw
since
it
we
out.
hardly
I didn't know what the
we
heck.
hardly get rid
Oh.
of stuff, we still have it.
It was so funny. Yeah, I have it.
yeah. Well,
That's an artiste. They don't get rid of things.
I have
So
a
what are
mess
your
of
favorite
mess.
stories and characteristics of my dad, since this is a tribute to his life and all the good he did for helping others?
Oh.
And
Well, as we're repeating a lot, but from our last episode, the first thing I learned very quickly about him was his determination and
Oh yeah,
what's that word? Relentless determination.
yeah.
Relentless
And,
focus.
Just to briefly say that again, it was I had just begun teaching at ASU in 1980, and in my first week, I had this phone call during one of my lessons, and this voice said, I have a concert arranged for Carnegie Hall with some famous Polish pianists, and we're going to do it also in Gamage Auditorium on ASU campus, and I need you to help me to put this through. And it went on from there, and I had no idea who this was. He probably did introduce himself as a cardiologist and everything, but I mean, what am I, what should I do? And I nearly hung up on him because he was so forceful.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and
He's got
that was-
tenacity.
Yes.
Tenacity.
But I guess inside I sensed that there was a deep purpose behind this, and he was a busy man, and he was not going to waste time. So anyhow, so fortunately I said yes, and these were 5 famous pianists from Poland, very famous, and they did indeed play a concert in Carnegie Hall in New York, at the big hall, and then they also I think maybe the one on ASU came first. I'm not sure. And his relentlessness also always filled the houses, and
Right.
there was he had no problem filling Gamage, which is 3,000 seats.
did you hear
and-
this? 3,000
and then-
seats with short notice.
Yeah.
And
Come
then
on.
later,
That's amazing.
later
Scottsdale
when we were
Center.
doing concerts together,
Mhm.
we had one in the Sundome,
Sundown.
which seats
Right.
9,000.
Oh my
Right.
God,
It
that was
9,000
the-
filled
And they
that
even
was-
said to him, "There's no way you're going to fill this up." And he said, "I'll do it."
That's right.
Right?
I
Don't
know
worry,
how
I'll
he
take care of it.
did those things. And
Right? He made
wasn't-
miracles.
We
You have
didn't,
to
we
buy
didn't
the
have it
ticket.
completely filled. I mean,
Oh my
9,000 is a
gosh.
lot, but I think it was around 7,000 to 8,000 people.
That-
that
That's
were there.
impressive.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
it's a
incredible.
lot.
And that all went to charity, and that's what the show is about, saving the planet
One
one
show
show
at
at
a
a time.
time.
Chet, what do you think about that? Can you fill
I
up
think it's
8,000?
amazing. No, that's very impressive. That's a massive
And I
venue.
was very negative
Very
about
impressive.
it, and he says, just don't say anything.
No doubt. Yeah, be quiet. Don't give
I
me
said,
bad
"What you
feelings.
gonna
Wait, the word was spokoj. Spokoj meant
Right,
shut up in
right.
Polish.
Yeah.
That
Oh my
was
gosh.
something that ended me.
You remember the one time we had a pianist play at the house,
Oh, that was
and
the,
he had a live broadcast with Channel 3.
yeah, they came out.
And suddenly
Oh, I remember
they
that.
had the live shot, and suddenly the Channel 3 said, "Where's the pianist? Oh, he's swimming in the pool."
Oh, was that Adam Harashevich?
Yes.
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 Oh,
yes.
He was
Here
swimming
it is.
in the pool.
Here
It
it
was a
is,
live
yeah.
shot. There was no anyway. He ended up coming inside, but that was really
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah, it was very funny. They should have put
He
that.
said it's too hot.
That's right.
And he would always say, "We have a very important event.
Mm.
You must once in a lifetime event."
Well, and what was incredible is he always got the media out there. He was able to
Right.
alert them, and they all came out
Well,
and they got it on TV, and that's what sold all the
Oh, your
tickets
dad,
too.
Right,
yeah.
Yeah.
right.
He
Yeah.
was not in his office. He was.
I know. He was
One thing I
focused
think
on
is
that.
interesting is how far ahead of the curve he was, knowing that your diet was going to help you with your
Bingo.
fix your
He knew,
ailments.
he
Bingo.
knew.
You were saying you were going to like literal gastrointestinal doctors that
Yeah.
weren't even recommending
That's
you
right.
switch
Yes.
up your diet.
That's
He was a
right.
heart doctor, and he was the
Yes.
one that told you to switch up your diet. I mean, nowadays everybody knows that you can heal a lot of your gut and like a lot of your health
Yeah.
issues with your diet. But back then, that was not common knowledge, and
That's
you kind of
good.
touched on that. That
Well-
he was the only one telling
Yeah.
you that.
Well,
That's
back,
interesting.
Yeah,
It's-
back in the
He
it was
was.
in the 80s.
That's
Yeah,
smart
I-
that he was ahead of the curve on that.
He
I
was,
think,
and that's a good
I
point.
had a lot of very, first class GI doctors,
Told you
gastroenterologists.
just to eat.
I had probably 10 or 12 of them, many of them, around locally and everything. And I have no complaints at all. It's just, as I understand it, in the past, the doctors in medical school did not get a whole lot of training in nutrition. And so they
Yeah,
naturally
that's true.
didn't have that much appreciation for it. But anyhow, the bottom line was that, I was getting gravy and heavy fat stuff in the hospital when I was recovering. And he, he just said, don't eat any of that stuff. And he told
It's
my
amazing.
wife to
Yeah.
make
It
some
really
fresh
is.
soup and smuggle it in and so
But,
on.
but even this day today, in this age, I have a friend. I'm not going to say her last name. I'll just say her beginning of her name is Tiff,
Mhm.
and she has very severe eczema,
Uh-huh.
and she has anyway, she has many different ailments.
Uh-huh.
And I've been with her to her doctor's appointment. She gets
You
headaches.
do
she gets
realize there's
migraines.
only one name that starts with Tiff, right?
that kind of gives it
How
away.
bad at
kind of.
math are you?
Oh my gosh.
1 minus
Hey,
1
you
equals
might as well
1.
just say the name. You already gave it
No,
away.
no, no, not gonna say it. Nobody knows what I'm talking about. Anyway,
Are you kidding?
I've been with her to her doctors, and I'll say to
How dumb do you think our listeners
I'll be
are?
almost arguing.
Tiff,
I'll be
Philadelphia.
almost arguing with the doctor, and I'll say some of the things she eats, and she eats a lot of sugar, and the doctor's like, no, this is not diet. It's
Well,
not
I even
diet.
remember as a little
So.
kid, my dad would say, "Oh, eat this cereal," and I'd say, "What is that, Dad?" "Oh, it's buckwheat." And I'd say, "Gross." Tad and my brother and I would say, "Gross."
Yeah, or
He'd say, "It's
flaxseed.
very good for you." But now I want to eat. I'm trying to remember all the things he taught me to eat that I'm trying now to reincorporate back into my diet. I'm actually making some smoothies right now. He was obsessed with flaxseed and
Yeah, love flaxseed.
he loves flaxseed
Mhm.
and chia seeds, which you can
Oh,
easily
chia seeds all the time.
you can easily incorporate that into your diet by making a smoothie. So just throw some
Yes.
vegetables in. And he was all about eating tons of vegetables.
Yeah.
So he always said
yes.
Oh,
the
yes.
vegetables are the base, and then the meat is the additional component.
Well, he would say that if you're
Right?
eating a lot of vegetables, if like 75% of your diet is vegetables, you're healing your body
Right.
of problems that are starting to happen.
And it
It heals it.
anti-inflammatory, which inflammation is the root cause of most diseases and such that you're going to get, right? Cancer, et cetera, et cetera. Actually, my eye condition, I'm trying to treat with anti-inflammatory diet as well.
Yeah.
So
Well, all
he
the-
definitely was great with diet.
all of the experts assured me that I was headed for surgery, and that this was going to come a time when I had to have that part of my pancreas removed in order to keep living, and these were first-rate people.
So what are you eating today?
You're still
Oh,
eating
yeah.
his
I'd
diet?
like Bev,
I'm eating
I want
properly.
Bev to be talking too.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
like that
yeah.
she's not talking, but she's
Yeah.
she's the expert here.
What,
on
what are you
he's doing.
cooking for him
Well,
at home?
he's
Is he
perfect
eating
now.
well?
Okay.
Is he eating well?
He's perfect and is eating very well.
That's
very
good.
low
Yeah.
fat, but
Mhm.
he's very, very, very healthy.
Yeah, well,
And you
it's not-
experienced all this with Dr. Z.
Oh, of
What?
course.
So tell us your version of what was happening with your husband and how he took over. Like what was the diet and his life? How was that with you?
Well, I did get a lot of advice, yes, and I am.
He loved giving advice.
I know my. We've been married 65 years, right? And so I know my place. at this
Only,
point.
only,
I know
only. My
place.
gosh,
Should
this should
help.
be like a
But let her talk.
relationship edition.
Yeah.
We
Exactly.
will. Yeah.
No, but that.
So how was
That's
that with
what I
you?
Oh, great! Hey, I wanted
Oh.
them around for a long time, so
Great.
So
That
you were
makes you
happy.
live longer.
yeah.
We
So
shouldn't
we're happy.
we shouldn't say it was low fat. It's the kinds of fats that are important and not.
Because he wanted you to eat walnuts.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, sure.
The
Okay.
good
Walnuts,
fats.
And
Olive
also,
oil.
yeah, and lean meats and there's a lot of stuff. So anyhow, it's I feel like it's not too much to say he literally saved my life because
He
Yeah.
saved his life.
That's
Did
why
you
we're
hear
here.
I
that?
would have
Well,
had
there
the
are many
surgery, maybe
other
everything
of
would have
the
been fine,
patients,
but
And
you
that's
never
why
know.
we're here.
You
Well,
know,
can I say something? I want to tie in my mom for a second because I truly believe that my father helped her with her art career.
Uh-huh.
He was the best salesperson.
No, he didn't.
He was the best promoter
did,
of her
but-
art.
But
Yeah, he was, he
no,
was.
he really was.
No.
He was,
My-
yes.
She's gonna she might downplay it, but he
Yeah.
really had
He did.
tenacity, and he had
To-
he not only for health, music,
My mom would
fundraising,
not have an
but
art
al-
gallery right
but
now if it wasn't
also
for my dad.
for promoting.
That's not true.
Gallery and
Well,
That
drink.
is not
I've seen
true.
it for
He
all my
never-
life. I can see, I see it, and he really had such a passion, and he just he
Well,
wanted people to enjoy the art,
At the
right?
same time, she did the wonderful painting.
Right, and she created the paintings, but
We
see-
have a lot of them around our house.
and you have a beautiful
in our
collection.
family.
Oh, we do.
How many paintings do
You
you
have like 25
Well,
paintings.
Oh
we
my
have
gosh.
About 25, right?
1, 2, 3, 4.
I think it's about 20. I took a picture of them.
Well,
One time I came out to the
a
house
lot
and
of,
I
a lot
took
of them
pictures.
are spread around our family with our kids have them on
20?
their walls and so on.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But to
Kids
talk about
always
talk about
love-
art making you happy,
Happy, yeah.
looking at those flowers,
Yeah.
they are really really stunning. And I understand. Don't you have one that is at the Vatican?
Yes,
Yes.
One of your paintings.
yes.
Yes.
And I have from
Pope
the
John Paul.
John
Yes.
Paul.
Yeah.
She got to meet
Oh,
Pope John Paul
yeah.
II.
And
met
we
him?
have the
Yes.
copy of the.
You have the
We have a
lid
copy of that one.
of the. It's called Towering Poppy.
Yes.
Yeah.
So and it has
the
a lot
tall
of
poppy.
has
Yeah.
The tall
symbolism
poppy,
in it
yeah.
because it's the big poppies, the Pope watching
Yes.
over all the people in the world, which are the
So,
Polish
so
wildflowers.
Chet,
It's-
are you envisioning this amazing, like what I was around? Like I was around all these famous pianists.
Music and art.
And yes.
It was not a boring
Well, you have to
childhood. That's for
chant
This
sure.
is who was my
It was not
teacher.
boring.
You have to
I
chant
do.
that
I do.
memory.
Do you understand, Chet? Let's hear from Chet a little.
Well, I mean, it makes
Okay.
sense that you raised me with a lot of music and art because
Yes.
that's what you
I
grew up
used to
in.
give
So-
Yes.
And I think it's great for everybody. Everybody should do that because I think, not everybody's going to find the same niche relationship with the arts, but I think everybody can find some type of art that they love, that they're passionate about, that will give them way more purpose in life. Whether that's being a pianist or a music producer or a painter or a
Sculptor.
producing clothes or having your own talk show. There's so many
Ah,
different
there we
Well,
go.
there's so many different
Amazing. I
forms
like
of
that.
Yes, indeed.
art and entertainment out there, and
Definitely.
Art.
I think the sooner you can start getting your kids infused with music and art that is obviously suitable for their age range. Like, don't have your
Sure.
kids listening to rap if they're 2 years old or something. But the more music that your kids can be listening to and exposed to, and potentially instruments they can be taught, the better off they're going to be. Like, I feel so fortunate that you guys had me start playing the piano when I was like 6. Because I love
And you're
music
still
so
great.
much.
Oh, wait till you hear him play. He's great.
Oh,
You
I'm,
know?
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
I'm not good at all
Oh, he
compared
is.
to
Oh,
someone
here's
like
some of
him.
his
No,
songs.
I just like to
He's
play
very
like
good.
some like
And
fun, like
Owen
kind of
plays too.
ragtime type of stuff. I don't really play that
Owen's
much
another
classical,
pianist
true
too.
classical stuff. But I just really think that anybody out there who is looking for more purpose in life, you should try to find a type of music that you love or type of art form, whether that's painting, film, something that you
So
love.
someday when you have kids, I see how you treat Puka, your dog. You're a very good dog owner. Someday when you have kids, I think that you would expose them to music.
Yeah, if I have kids, yeah.
Uh-oh, if?
Oh wait, we won't get into that topic.
Uh-oh, that's another show.
But
know,
you
do
know,
Yeah.
did
I
you
wanna-
want to say
Yeah.
something? Go
Do you
ahead.
remember Catherine?
Catherine Wilkinson.
Oh my
remember?
gosh,
Catherine Wilkinson.
Yes.
I do.
Okay, so
Yeah, she
Yes.
was. I believe she was our secretary.
She
of
was a great
the
secretary
Western
for the
Children's
Chopin
Society.
Society.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
She was wonderful.
and
She was wonderful.
Ted.
Yes.
My brother or
No,
or your husband?
Yeah.
My
yeah,
dad?
Dr. Z, yeah. So they organized in San Francisco a poetry society.
Oh.
And we went there, and the children were taking all their music apparatus, and they were playing there.
Yeah, we
And everybody was, do you remember?
we were performing with our
Really?
violins.
Performing, yes.
Yes, in San
And
Francisco.
what I want to tell you, that little Ted, he was like, I don't know, 3 years old, maybe.
He said he wasn't going to go up on the stage.
He was dressed up,
Very like the Von Trapp
and
family.
he wouldn't
Playing the
turn.
violin.
This is funny. He
Wait,
said,
wait.
no, I'm not going up there. He had stage fright.
Oh.
No, you just.
Okay, so anyway.
Okay, we're
But
listening.
he didn't wanna go.
Catherine, it was already, they were playing, but he
Oh.
just, no. And Catherine Wilkinson gave him $5 in his pocket, and he started playing.
Oh my
Oh
goodness.
my gosh. What was he like,
He was
5 years
three.
What a
old?
great
He was
thing.
like
Okay, I was
And-
3,
and
so
my
he was
husband
5.
Ted said, Catherine, what
Right.
did you do to Dad? He says, I don't know, I just put a little money in his pocket, and he
Oh
was
my
playing.
gosh. A 5-year-old
That
giving a
was so
5-year-old
funny.
money.
Distraction
And,
works.
and you know, in this poets
funny.
Yeah.
society,
Speaking of,
we actually
Yeah,
we
poems.
were
He
there,
was a
and
poet,
it
too.
was from all over the world,
I'm going to pull out one of his
and
poems.
this is Ted organized this,
Really? I
Yes.
didn't know
Yes.
that.
and
He was
we
doing that.
had to take. I had
My
about
goodness.
like my painting and about 6 other very well-known artists.
Mhm.
They all sold. I sold them all. And we gave it to the the profits went to the poetry society.
Poor people. Poetry.
Poetry.
Poetry Society. Poetry
That
Society.
was
Sorry.
amazing.
That was a
Yeah,
funny
and
confusion.
actually, if can I just say something regarding the poetry? Yeah, Dad actually did these monthly meetups where he would have people do different art forms, and poetry was one of them. So it'd be poetry,
Yeah,
painting,
poetry.
music,
Yeah.
Mhm.
all different art forms. And Dad was actually a poet, and
He wrote
he,
them. Yeah,
that
he-
was a hobby of his.
He's a published poet
and
under his
so
name,
his
Ted Rosa.
it was Tad Rosa.
Ted Rosa.
And I
is his
actually,
poet.
I have a poem here. I'll just read one of them because I think they're really special.
And it was
Yeah.
super cool. As a kid, my dad, he wouldn't bribe us, but he'd say, if you write a poem and you come
Mhm.
up to the stage and you recite your poem, you can have, $100 in this outfit. And so I would always have a poem ready.
Oh, okay.
Here's my job.
Oh my God.
I'm going to read 2 of his poems real quick. Okay, so here's
and I
one.
put
Since
my
we're talking,
drawings in this. We have it at home.
oh.
We're supposed to publish it.
Okay.
We
So-
didn't do it
Yeah.
yet.
so this one, since we're talking about music and such, this one is called Chopin.
Oh.
You elevated sounds of Polish soul to eternal love and humanity. So that's a great one.
Chet, are you
about
listening to
Chopin.
these poems?
And then I'll just read a second one. So this one is called Time and Distance. Time forms a drop to the stream. Time forms a stream to the river. Time forms a river to the sea. Time makes all stronger in human nature. Time and distance makes true love stronger. Any-
Oh,
Wait, reread that one. It's so good.
Yeah,
And it's
so
beautiful. It's
but
just
there's
beautiful.
another one.
Well, hold
It's
on.
the
I love that one.
So anyway, those are 2, and he has some more serious ones. Like he wrote about the Warsaw Uprising because he was 10 years old when World War II broke out.
Yeah, but we don't want
And
to talk about that.
So
Yeah.
no, but the reason why I'm going to mention that
early.
is
Shows
it builds tenacity and
Mhm.
character in an
Mhm.
individual.
Mhm.
So when you go through something so traumatic like that, nothing's impossible.
Well, Chet, Chet, let's
Absolutely
get Chet to the
There's
mic.
another
Chet,
one,
can you
which is
imagine
the last people
if-
on the earth. Do you have?
Can
I
you
don't
imagine
have that
at
one.
your age right now, if you moved to another country where you couldn't write the language you couldn't speak the language, and you learned how to go to med school in that language and relearned everything.
Very impressive. Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Wow.
That's impressive.
That's
I
what he
really
did.
think my
That's what he
dad
did.
was
He
a
even
genius.
spoke Swahili.
He was extremely
He
intelligent.
spoke 6 languages.
Swahili.
Swahili.
Seven languages. Mom, he didn't speak Swahili.
No, 6. I think it's 6.
He did. He
No, he studied Swahili.
studied
But
Swahili.
he
So
didn't.
Chet, how are you inspired by this show?
I already basically answered that. Basically, just saying that I'm also gonna get my kids or anybody I'm into, try to get them more inspired in music and art, because it has so much power to give you purpose and joy in life. It has given me
Is that
both of those
the
things
last one?
in immense
I never
quantities. So,
Yeah, well spoken.
Love
Yeah.
that. So when can we hear your new song? And what's
well,
your-
I'm playing it at my next performance, but yeah,
And that would be Gold Rush.
I don't want to talk about it on the show.
Oh, okay. Are we going to take that out?
I would like
Go
to
ahead.
say
No,
just
fine.
one thing about music and how it is so
Yay.
important to our soul. Haven't you ever been in the car and you've got the radio on and you're listening to the news? Not very positive news,
Oh, yeah,
right?
no.
Very negative. I'm not going to
So
listen to
negative.
that. Push the button and you hear K-Bach or some classical music
That's
or
true.
any music. Your whole body goes,
It's so true.
and it's just a wonderful experience. This is what we need. We don't need that.
Right.
Agreed.
Right.
I love that point, because
Amen
that
to
is the
that.
most important, because we're
I
here to make a difference. We're here
Yes.
to enjoy with our
Yes.
loved ones, with our friends, with our family.
Yes.
Bringing joy is about positivity and love and music and
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Creativity.
people that inspire us, like
Yes.
these two right here.
Yes.
Well, we're in an era of, I guess you would say TMI. I think we have
Mhm.
too much information.
I agree.
I remember when
I do.
we were kids growing up. I mean, back we were growing up during the Second World War, and through high school and college, we knew very, very little of the intricacies of what was going on in the world, and it didn't matter a bit. In fact, we were better off not knowing, because
Exactly.
we were developing and getting into our creative lives and so on. Nowadays, children are, pushed into all sorts of details.
Because of their
Minus-
phones.
Oh, but
Because
yeah,
they have all that-
Phone
my,
and
yes.
everything else.
It's
Yeah.
too much
That's a
with the
good point,
phone.
because like Chet, I don't know if you remember, when we came back from, we were back on the East Coast and 9/11 happened. And I didn't want to, we were just, I said, that's it.
yeah.
I said to my
They
his
never
dad,
came back.
his amazing dad, I said, we are not going to talk about this with the kids. We're not going to upset them. We're going to turn off the TV, and we're going to make this a beautiful experience coming from the East Coast to here. And we have this puppy that we went back there to get, and we're not going to talk about it. And we didn't. And you weren't scared to death. You came back like you had a
Well,
great
yeah, but
trip.
we were little kids, so that
Yeah.
you were being good parents by doing that at the time.
Wow.
Yeah.
I
We
was
just had
like, I was
amazing
like 5
dinners
years
and-
old, so yeah, we wouldn't have been able to process
Yeah.
that we were literally under attack.
No.
Something
Yeah.
horrifying happening.
We
so.
didn't
That's
disclose that to the kids. We wanted them to have joy,
tell them
and
that
we
we
didn't
were
upset
going
them,
to
and we didn't say
see
one
them.
thing about what happened and what was going on.
Very
And we just
good.
we made it
We
fun
were
for the
not
kids.
supposed to
Yeah.
go there.
Because we couldn't fly back, so we had to do cross country driving and stay at different hotels. And we had this puppy that we just
Oh my
purchased.
God.
Yeah, which
wonderful.
puppy was that?
Kona.
Oh, was that Kona?
How do you not remember that?
I don't know. We've had so many dogs: Kona, Magnum, Higgins. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Higgins was my dog.
Golden. They were all golden.
Oh, gold.
It was my doggy.
Hula.
You just listed one of her dogs.
Oh my god.
Wait, he's saying that, but
Are you just too many dogs or too
Hold
many
on.
glasses of wine?
No, she
you
watched my
forget
dog while I had
everything.
back surgery.
I purchased that dog for her after she had a surgery.
Yes.
I gave it to her, and then they said she couldn't keep it, so I took it back.
Okay.
And so I had it for a long time.
You watched it while it
For a
was a
couple
puppy
years,
and then
yeah.
gave it back to
So
me.
it was one of my dogs.
And then later you.
So whose dog
spotted
was
that.
it? Wait.
It was my dog.
Okay.
We shared it.
Arm wrestle for the dog. I'm kidding.
Your dad and I would bring it to visit her
Okay.
and show it to her.
You're gonna
So,
arm wrestle for
It
her?
doesn't matter. It's all good. It's all good.
Speaking of that,
But on the topic of artists, I do think it's really important for you to have someone who encourages you.
Mhm.
Yes.
I think that's
Inspirational.
really
Like
important
parents.
because you can have the best artists out there, but they may not have the confidence in themselves or the encouragement and they may not get anywhere. So
And that's why
that's a
another
tragedy.
tribute to my dad, who'd grab us.
Yeah.
He pulls each aside and goes,
Mhm.
"You are the best.
Oh, really?
Your poetry's the best. Your painting's the best."
I don't know. I
music's the
I
best."
love that point, but I think it's a great point.
You have to
the
be
encouragement
self-motivated
helps.
too.
Yes, that was the counterpoint. I
If
was
you're
gonna
not
make, is that,
self-motivated, you can't do
yeah,
it.
you have to have that vision
Both.
and determination to make it happen.
And not
Without
everybody
without
has
the
it.
encouragement, no matter what, like there were so many days when I was learning how to actually do sound design and make new like synthesized sounds using electronic synths. Learning how to do that process takes a long time. It's a lot of it is experimental too, and
Well, of course, you have to have the passion and drive, otherwise it's not
yeah.
going
And
anywhere.
so there's like months and months of work that were there with zero encouragement. Where it's just I knew that the end goal was that I was going to be able
I
to
always
make.
encouraged you. When you told me you wanted to get into that kind
Chet,
of
you
music,
had a lot of
I went and bought
encouragement.
you all that equipment instantly. I was always encouraging that.
Chet, what planet are
Always.
you on?
Oh yeah. I'm not saying that I didn't have parents that didn't support me. What I'm saying is that there's going to be parts of your creative process that you're the only person that's going to be able to see that. So if you're only relying on encouragement,
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying that.
that's not
You
going
have
to
to be
pull you through to
self-motivated.
truly mastering your craft.
Yeah.
Oh, wait,
You really
Robert
want
has
to
a-
become as good as possible.
Yeah.
You're going
And-
to spend a lot
and-
of hours by yourself.
And of course, the encouragement has to be backed up with a lot of learning, a lot of
Yes.
someone has to push a little bit and and present lots of facts and information.
Education.
Yeah, not it's not just encouragement. Sometimes we have to be told that we didn't do so well.
You have to do your skills.
Right.
Something not fun.
Yeah, it's very interesting. In America, we lean very heavily towards encouragement. In some other countries, like Russia or China, children growing up, it's the more or less the opposite. The parent is a parent is often with them when they're practicing and demanding, and even they make the child cry because you're terrible, you're not doing well. A lot of this goes on, and when I have and others like me, my colleagues all around the country, often when we have students from these countries, they're quite surprised at the sort of encouraging atmosphere which we create. And
So it sounds like they come from more of a critical atmosphere where they're very.
that's right.
It's just all based on how they're doing.
It's-
But I think that's good. So
You
it's
need
important to have a
combination.
blend of
It
both
is
of
a
them.
good
I
combo.
think.
A combination
exactly
of
right.
both,
That's what's
criticism and encouragement.
That's what's badly needed, and so neither system in its most severe sense is right. It's
But
not-
it also
You need a
depends-
blend of both
you
qualities.
Need, you need to encourage,
But it depends
you
on the
also
person,
need to
too.
Expect and demand from the.
Because don't you think that
child.
some people are more sensitive than others, just
Oh,
like a
sure.
dog is?
And
You
that's-
can really be critical with one dog. No, it's true.
How profound.
No, it's true. Some people are more
Sometimes that
sensitive.
Chihuahua doesn't
No,
want the
that's
chew
another-
bird.
That's
another
another
aspect
issue.
of
But do you think that's true?
Oh, absolutely. As teachers, I mean, it's very important that we try to tune in to the personality and the needs of each student and teach them in the way that they need. It's not one size fits all.
Not one size fits all.
Some students very much need to be pushed. Some students
Yes.
Some need to be pushed and some don't need to be.
Liberty.
Yeah.
Right.
Some are
Yeah,
sensitive.
encouraged. That's right. And so, there's a little bit of psychologist
Some psychology.
any good teacher, I think, who
Like Owen is a little more sensitive than Chet is. Owen is here. He's our director of the studio, and Owen is my nephew, and Chet is my son.
That's
Chet-
in your opinion.
But no, because Chet, no,
It's not necessarily a fact.
no, because you both had the same baseball instructor for baseball, and you really liked that coach. I'm not gonna say his name, and Chet or Owen.
Are you going to give us the first 75% of his name?
No,
again?
I'm
Why
not. I'm not
That'll
gonna
be
name.
fun.
But
Nobody
Owen-
will tell us what it is.
Owen didn't want to work with him anymore because he would like throw things and say, he would yell and be very critical.
Chet
You were
agrees
fine
with
with
me.
it. You were fine with it. Owen wasn't. So that's where my point is.
Some
It
people are
just
sensitive.
depends
In some
on
aspects,
somebody
Chet agreed
being
with
more
me,
sensitive.
but
Yeah.
And of course,
Yeah.
we can be more sensitive about certain things.
I mean, yeah,
And,
some
I
of
mean,
his
it depends
coaching
on
measures
the-
were borderline child abuse.
Yeah.
That's another whole topic.
Oh my.
Incoming ball at 87 miles per hour at your head.
Like, and at one
How are
point,
you gonna?
I remember
We'll
saying to
find
the coach.
out.
I remember saying to the coach because we were waiting. We had a place.
These are fucking 13-year-olds. Why are you screaming at them like they're adult men?
Yeah,
Well, okay, so I want to say this.
Is that what you would say?
I defended Chet
Oh.
because Chet was here slaving away in the hot summer. We had a vacation place on the beach in California,
Yeah.
Oh.
and I can't remember what Chet did, but he started yelling at Chet and didn't play Chet, and it was like he was punishing Chet, so he said he's not going to start him or whatever. And I sat there quiet, and Chet was little.
Well, I actually,
like 10
this is
or
actually
something.
bring up a great topic
Yeah.
because I think that my like hardest coaches are what gave me like the most discipline, and that's why I'm willing to go the extra mile to do the things to
Yeah.
get better.
Yeah.
So I think it's actually good for
Mhm.
coaches and parents to be that presence, forcing, being critical.
Mhm.
But when I
Mr.
talked back
Hamilton
to
was
the
saying-
coach,
wait, I'm right in the middle of saying something.
but when I talked back to the coach, I said I didn't like how he talked to you, and I said
you just finished the rest
no,
of the show.
but then he got after me. Chet got after me, and Chet said, "You be quiet." He goes, "No, don't listen to my mom."
Nobody wants
I'm
a
good with
fucking
it.
helicopter parent. That's
Yeah,
how they become
okay,
a soft
sorry,
little
go ahead.
bitch.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, if the child growing up knows hears these things, he knows that you care at least, and you know, as long as it goes in a
So he's
basically
not
positive way, you know, disciplining shows that we care, and
So Chet, it made you stronger.
Yeah. Well, and I don't think Owen is a sensitive person. I think you're wrong about that.
I think he's sensitive.
I think Owen's.
He's a lot more sensitive than you were.
Oh.
I feel like I'm more.
Maybe I just have a thick skin from having to
This
deal with
is
your
balance.
shit.
Oh my gosh.
I'm kidding.
All
I'm
right,
kidding.
we
I'm-
should
It was
digress.
funny.
to
It
another
was
topic.
funny. It's called a joke.
Yeah, it's a
It's funny.
joke.
It's funny.
Yeah.
But see, you
But,
take a talented
But yeah, I
painter-
think Owen can be a little bit. Sometimes he could, you know, maybe benefit from being a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more assertive, and I think, you know, most people can learn from that. Maybe not if you're from New Jersey or New York, but most other people, you know, if you feel a certain way about something, you know, if it's related to a friend or a career or somebody you like, just get up and say something and go start doing something about it, because life is short and it's way better to have action and know what happened from doing something rather than having regret. Regret's way
That's
worse.
true.
That's so
Yeah.
true.
wow,
Regret.
you raised him
But
well.
it doesn't
See?
go for
Yes.
It's nothing to
That's
do
great.
with that with
Yeah.
Owen right now. I don't think so.
So back to Dr. Z.
Yeah.
What would Dr. Z do? Bev,
What would Doctor say it again?
what would Dr. Z do?
with
Why do you think he raised
What?
5
This
kids?
is like-
question?
Well, he raised 5
Open-ended
kids. He was
question.
In
confident.
relation to what? Like,
In relation to kids.
Jesus.
He was
What are you
confident.
saying?
It would just
how-
be encouraging. Period.
Thank you.
encouraging.
Encouraging.
Yeah.
Encouraging.
That's how
But that's
he
what he
had 5
was.
Only
children.
encouraging. He was
Because-
never critical.
Like with
That was
her,
never
her
critical.
You
art,
say that's how
she was
that's
extremely
how he had
talented.
5 children.
No, that's how
but
we all turned out
but
positive.
Oh,
he
yeah.
encouraged her to get her art out there, to
Yes.
show
Yes.
different people her
Yeah.
art, and
Oh,
he
yes.
and he pushed,
Oh,
he
my.
pushed.
He never
Yeah.
Oh,
He
I
pushed,
remem- I
and he
remember
never took
growing-
no. He never
didn't
took
give
no
it.
for an answer.
I remember
You know,
him
he
showing
would-
up at our house once with
But-
several paintings. Which one do you want? And I didn't know we
I
we
never
wanted one.
did.
Oh, come on, you need one of these.
But for anybody listening,
Anyway, at the end, we're glad we bought it.
but for anybody listening,
And now
should.
you don't regret it. It's
Not at all.
beautiful.
It's wonderful. Yeah.
Forever is a
Yeah.
memory from him, which is good.
Yeah, and you bought
Yes.
24 paintings. That's amazing.
Wait, I want to
That's a lot.
Wait, can I say something?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think Owen
Yes.
is an amazing child because
Thank you.
he has so much.
Teenager.
No,
She
no,
can,
no.
she can
Adult.
say that.
No,
because
he's
she's
creative.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
very
He
creative.
used to do little sketches on the floor at our and gallery.
He worked at the art
I was
gallery.
ready.
He
used
worked
to
at the
play
art
there.
gallery.
And
I
he
used to
was
graffiti
amazing.
graffiti
Yeah.
the walls.
Everybody.
No, just he was
I
along
just
with
want
me
to
at the
say
gallery.
because he needs to be
An art curator.
No, not.
No, he was
making
exposed to the art at
No,
an
he
early
was
age. Is
exposed
what we're
and-
saying. He didn't
Wait,
work
let
with-
him be assertive and
Yeah.
decide what he
And
wants
this
to do.
show's
That's-
about Dr. Z,
Do you have-
so let's go back to
maybe
Dr.
you
Z.
Well,
have
no,
anything
what
to
I wanted to
say
get back to
for
is
your-
I'll just let it happen.
You still have to think what you're going to do.
Well, I
with
think we
your
should
life.
go back a little bit to the fact that musicians and artists
You have
nowadays
talent.
need to be more
Thank you.
critical than ever of their own work because you're having to compete with AI art nowadays, which
Oh,
is a
yes.
sad reality.
What is
But
it
you have to
about?
be more creative than ever and more critical than ever, making sure your song, is as clean as possible in the terms of the mix down and the mastering process, that the writing is all good, it's unique, because you now have these random AI bots that are generating songs based off of collected data. I think it's kind of bullshit personally, but
What do you think?
Well, AI, I don't think is ever going to be creative like a human will be.
No.
All the AI does is takes what's given to it and creates
There's no feeling.
very high class music in from what it is given. It's not a
True, but
Yeah.
what I'm talking about is like from a technical standpoint, the AI is always gonna release a song that's perfectly mixed and mastered and in key and well written because it's using past released
Everybody.
songs to create the new
But
one.
each-
So you're competing with all the songs that are put into the database are gonna be songs that are high quality.
Just like
that's
plagiarism.
right. So
That's
the-
exactly
the-
how
the
they create
quality-
it. It's
But
really
plagiarism.
yeah.
But where
Wow.
we're above AI is in creativity.
Oh, agreed.
And
So
so you need just to come up with new thoughts, new ideas that
Yes.
AI would not touch that.
agreed, but people have to remain critical of their music and their art to make
That's
sure
right. The
they're-
quality is high.
exactly.
So in that way, AI can be an advantage. It can push.
Well,
push
exactly.
you a little
It's
bit.
gonna people that are not gonna take the time to write interesting songs, they're not gonna be able to compete anymore because the AI is already gonna be doing that. People, if you want to release new music that's gonna be interesting in the future, you're gonna have to be very creative and very critical of every layer of the song.
That's right.
So
Without succumbing to AI, however, I think AI makes a wonderful partner for us as we go through the coming years, and that's I think its role if it's kept as a partner.
I don't think it really has a big role in art and music personally. Like I took a personal vow to never use AI for any of my music. I'm always going to
Right.
create every layer. I'm going to record every layer personally.
Yeah.
But a lot of artists, you're right, are using it. So
Well, I didn't mean it that way. I mean in the sense of it pushing you to make your creations of the highest quality and so on. You realize obviously that you can't just produce something that's
can't release the first draft. That's for
Yeah,
damn sure.
That's right. So in that sense, AI is serving a good purpose.
So what's your advice to Chet on how to move forward and not worry about this AI?
Just be creative.
Yeah, we-
dream up things.
Yeah.
AI doesn't dream, for
Definitely
heaven's
not,
sakes.
yeah.
You know,
You're
it's-
the one that's going to be.
Yeah,
the
it's people who are
creative
going to dream and find new things, and not AI.
I
And new
agree. I
lyrics.
really think you hit the nail on the head. The only way to, evolve past it is to be more creative, write more interesting songs, more interesting
That's right.
melodies,
Yeah.
Go another
Something
layer
new.
deeper.
Yeah.
Exactly.
More
You
exciting.
bet.
More put in
Absolutely.
the more passion.
Yeah, we don't
Passion,
need to be,
passion, passion.
We don't need to be afraid of AI.
No, I like that. That's a good way to say it.
I
Chase, how
agree.
many
We don't need to
minutes
be
do we have
afraid
left?
of it, but
5 minutes in
if-
closing. 5 minutes.
if people don't willingly choose artists who are not using AI and who have taken vows against using AI to generate their music, it could threaten a lot of musicians and artists' jobs in the future. So while it's not something to be afraid of, it's something that we all need to basically reject in the terms of music and art. Like I'm never gonna watch a movie that's AI generated. I'm never gonna listen to music that's AI generated. I'm never gonna buy a painting that's AI generated.
Yeah.
Because I don't think that's real art.
That's a machine, not
So
real
they
art.
have AI databases. So Grandma, we'll put it in your perspective.
Okay.
They have AI databases where I could upload all of your paintings.
Really?
Put that into the server,
would get
and
to
then
the
and then.
prison.
And then
Well, no. This is totally legal.
copyright
This is totally
infringement.
legal. And then we put it into the AI bot, make another painting exactly like these couple hundred
It's
appears that
copyright
they've analyzed.
infringement.
No, it's not. That's what.
Well, it
this
should
is
be,
all.
though.
It should be.
Yeah.
It should
And
be.
that's why it's such a
So
massive
someone
deal.
needs to go to the legislators and make
Exactly,
sure
but
it is
if
copyright
people aren't
infringement.
talking about it,
Because in my professional opinion, that is copyright.
I
infringement.
totally agree, and that's why it's so sketchy. So right now, somebody could
Yeah.
take one of these databases and put all of my songs into that database, and then it would start creating new songs based off of my songs.
That are
Yes.
similar, or
Deep Shady
your
beat.
exact. Wow,
Exactly.
Deep
Yes,
Shady
that's
music?
how AI works.
It copies
It
stuff.
creates something
It's
new
terrible.
based off of the data that you've given it. So you can use it to recreate her art or his piano songs or my songs.
Not good. I don't like
and that's
it.
why it's
Thumbs
terrifying.
down.
Yeah.
I'm thumbs down
Well,
on that.
it's-
I don't like it.
It's not very exciting. You know, it's much
No.
more exciting to see what another human being can do that you can't do. But AI is machinery.
And it really is just copying. It is not creating
It's
something
plagiarism.
genuinely new.
So we have 3 minutes. We're not going to worry about that because we're not going to let it happen.
But we have to talk about it because it
We
is
should talk about it.
threatening
I'm
the
glad we
jobs
talked
of
about
it. I think you should
musicians
do
and
another show
artists.
just on that.
We will do another show on
I
that.
think you should do
AI
another one on that.
AI is a tool, not a replacement of a human. It's
Correct.
just
I
a
love
tool.
that.
But it's not that one song is now officially
You've
being
seen all
nominated
the-
for a
you've-
Grammy.
You've seen all the SpongeBob recreation AI things.
Yeah.
They're kind of going. They're going viral.
Machines
You know,
are
it's
kind of
one
like-
way of using it, but it's not a replacement of a human. It's a.
But
tool.
that's where it's at right now.
Yeah.
Where it's potentially going to get to a point where they're literally going to be releasing
Yeah.
music
Okay,
under
we'll
like
do
a
another
fake
show
AI
on that.
person, where it's this
It's
single
very
generator
intriguing.
generating
I think
songs.
Chef's very upset about AI.
Well, there's an AI song already nominated for a Grammy. This is a
Really?
problem
There is?
happening right now. Yeah.
No, what's
Yes,
okay,
there
don't,
is.
don't say what it's called. I don't want
Okay,
to.
well,
I don't wanna say
anyway.
So yeah, I don't know if you guys watch
It-
watch
it
the news or
doesn't-
something.
well,
It
it's
doesn't
a-
change the fact,
Is it the
in
Drake
my
one?
opinion, it's
Yeah.
copyright infringement.
Yeah.
But that's why
Well,
we're here
since
saving
they-
the planet one show at a time. Because we're going to make sure that our show, your music, your art, your creativity, your music,
I will never
Bev's
let
music.
it go.
None
I
of
will
us are going
never
to let that happen.
it go.
Owen, are you going to
Yeah.
let it happen?
No.
You gotta let them know this show will never be generated by AI.
Yeah, this is always going to be generated by us crazy humans.
That's for sure.
Good job, Chase.
Oh,
So,
very good.
in closing, Chet, everybody has to give one quote of how they are inspired by this show. Chet.
Just stay passionate about music and art, and listen to music, and enjoy art that's created by humans.
Robert,
So I would go with it.
You're next.
I can second that. And, hats off to Dr. Z for all he was and
And
all
will
that he.
never be another one like him.
That's right.
No.
That's my
Unique.
quotation.
I agree. I've never known anybody like him.
Oh, Mom.
Beverly, your quote.
Well, one of the last times we
Oh,
saw him,
Yes.
we played music, of course.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Our
Oh,
son Greg
yes.
on the cello. You were there.
Yeah, I was taking care of Dad.
And,
That
yes,
is
and he played for Greg.
Let me see.
and we
because
have pictures out. I'm going to show them.
So what's your quote then?
send
Of
it
how
to
you're
me.
My
inspired
closing is
by
that
Dr. Z.
we need. Oh, he loved music, and why wouldn't he?
Oh, I love that quote. That's a great
Oh,
one.
nice.
That's a great one. Oh my
We
gosh.
need impresarios
Oh, that's
like
beautiful.
Scroll.
Oh, I love
All right, we're
it.
about to run out of time, so everybody get your last statements in
Okay.
if you want to make them.
Andrea?
Okay, so my last
Where do
quote
I-
for why I'm inspired so much by Dr. Z,
Mhm.
everything. Everything he did was all about love.
But say who is Dr.
Passion.
Z because people
My dad.
Yeah.
My
Thank you.
dad was an
Everything
encourager.
is the quote.
He would he would pull me aside and he'd say, "Your show, it's the best show." And when I would show up in his hospital room, he'd say, "Put on the show." Your show. He'd get so happy to listen to the
Oh,
show.
really?
You're the best. You create the show. I'm so proud of you. That's what he would say.
That's great. Wonderful.
Yeah.
And
Actually, I would second that. I would say I am who I am because of my dad and my mom. Dad built my confidence. He made me believe in myself.
yes.
So, saving the planet, one
One
show at a time.
Good times.